Um, Hello, this is a presentation for UCSB CS263 course, that is Runtime System for Winter 2016, and I am Harshita Shidanandamurthy and my application is called Eventize. Now I'm going to be give an introduction about the application, the problem and the solution, and have a quick overview of the features, models, platform, implementation and the performance, and then give a demo of the application, and also talk a little bit about the motivation and contribution, experience thoughts, future scope. Now, the first question is, how do you get to know about an event? Let's say that an event is happening in a college in some other department. How do you get to know about it? Firstly, through university website. It might be the official ucsb.edu or the separate department websites. But what's the problem here? The problem here is that people cannot keep track of all the department events. Events may be anything, maybe conference or workshops or seminars or any meeting for entertainment purposes as well. It is very hard to keep track of all the events in different departments. And secondly, if you have to get to know about an event, it's maybe when you have friends from another events. And the third and the most obvious one is the posters that you see all around the university, maybe in front of the stock tower, near the bus loop, or near Harold Frank Hall, or anywhere. So this is the most obvious thing. So I spoke a little bit about the posters and how this happens to the Nexus, that is the newspaper of our college. And when the enrollment was 23,000 students, maybe this data was got back when I was in 2011. Per month, about 2,780 posters were used, and for roughly around 80 programs. And number of events were too many because events may be anything, maybe workshop or conference or session or any kind of an event. So now what is the problem? The problem is that there is a lack of medium. That is, there's no single place where people can post all the events, all the workshops, or anything. And secondly, yes, blogging is there, there's Medium, there's Blogger, there's so many other things, but there's not a single place where all the university students can contribute to. And then there's no way that you can keep track of all the events. So it's either that you continuously go to a website and keep seeing it yourself, that is, you have to take care of 80 different websites, which is really hard to do. So what is the proposed solution? The proposed solution is Eventize is a single point medium which enables people to make events, view them and delete them. And also it's like a blogging thing. They can also share stories about themselves. So this helps them to better keep track of the blogs they write, and then help them keep track of the events they like to attend to or they want to create as well. An overview. So what are the features? The features of the application includes, it has two major components, that is events and then the story. So events is user can either create events or then create a story. They can either view events or then view a stories. They can remove the events and stories, only the ones that they have created. And then it has a basic functionality of logging in and signing out and provision with various other details. And then it also enables user to view created events and stories. So these form the basic features of the application. Now I have used two types, that is events and stories, and these are the various entities. So event name, you definitely need an event name for creating an event, and then event tagline is a tagline associated with the event. And then when is the event going to be, the time, duration may be like for an hour or 30 minutes or for a day. Event type, what kind of an event is it, whether it's a workshop or a session or anything. Event host, who is hosting it. The purpose of the event and whether it's associated with a department or it's not applicable at all. And the capacity, the maximum number of people that the workshop or whatever the event that's going to have can hold, and the location, the exact place where the event is going to happen, and the little bit of description about the event as well. And then the creator of the event will have to given their details such as name, email, and the role that they own. And then this forms one type. The other type is the stories. So stories is like users just come in and write some blogs about their experiences in UCSB or anything associated with the university. So it includes the title, like every story has a title, and then it's about is just what the story is all about, and then it's associated with the owner ID, the ID of the owner, and then ID of each of these stories associated. So the platform that I used was Google App Engine. Google App Engine, it's a platform as a service. And then I used REST-based Java applications. That means everything is in the form of resources. And then used data store for storing the data. Data store, it's basically NoSQL, complete opposite of what SQL is. This helps in scalability, and hence data store NoSQL is helpful. And also it's easy to store. Memcache was used as a caching mechanism, and then task used to run a background event. And the framework, the framework was JavaScript in the front end that was used, and jQuery for any initialization or the first time you need to call a document or anything. And then I used Materialize CSS for the entire designing of the application. It looks clean because of Materialize CSS. I chose this over Bootstrap because Bootstrap gave a lot of errors. So I made some of the styles and designs myself, and the rest of it I used Materialize CSS. Memcache. So first I'll talk about REST-based APIs. So here you can see in the figure that there's a cloud service, and on one side of it is resources, and then the other side of it is applications. So the applications, or whatever the file associated with the application, it sends a request or a response to the server, and the server will fetch the resources associated with it. So everything that goes on in this platform as a service is a web request, and that is for these applications that I've used JSON. Now I'm going to be talking about Memcache. So Memcache, it forms as a layer between fetching the actual data and the user client side. So it fetches the data that was like recently stored. So you can set the timings. I have chosen about 30 seconds. So you can vary the time. So before 30 seconds, like it doesn't go back to the data store and fetch it. So every 30 seconds, it goes in and does it till the request is passed. And then so the caching I've used is not associated with any user, like only this user can use this caching mechanism. It's for all the users. And then I have used this to cache the stories. And usually it has a lot of data because I'm caching in all the things associated with the story. And then task queue is a background task. So task queue, it is used to clean up data on deletes. So when a button, so what I've done is in this, I've associated a button next to an event or a story. And then when that particular thing is clicked, then the whole information associated with that gets deleted. So this is the background task that I'm doing. And for testing, I used Selenium testing. Selenium testing is the automated UI testing. I used it for events and stories for testing it, and I used unit testing for exceptional handling or see how each of the unit works. So the performance. So using Memcache was really helpful. So using Memcache, I got a good performance rate. So the performance was decreased. Increased from 300 milliseconds to 12 milliseconds. So that's a really big performance increase. So this was possible only with the use of Memcache. Now I'm quickly going to go with the demo. So Eventize, and the tagline is make things happen. So if you want to know a little bit more about Eventize, then I have linked the page to the YouTube presentation, a slide share redirection that consists of the slide, and the GitHub link for code. It consists of all the code. So if anyone wants to work on it or improve in the future, yeah, it's open. Anyone can do it. And a brief documentation of what the application is about and how it's used and how it's going to work. And this just lands me back to the landing page. So here the login, I've used the Java JSP's user service. So this takes in, I'm just going to log in now. So this is how my home page looks. So this is where I enter any of the information I want. So now let's take an example of if someone wants to, okay, I'm a student and I want to just say, okay, I'm putting up an event on Raspberry Pi. So I'll just say that. Basics of Raspberry Pi. Basics of Raspberry Pi, and then I'll tagline it as embedded systems. And then for the date, I'm just going to pick a date. 30th, okay, close. And then event time, I'm going to give it as 3:40 p.m. and it's going to be for 2 hours. Here users can either give anything, 2 hours, 2 days, or whatever hours. And the option that I'm using is event type. So is it a workshop, conference, info session, or entertainment? I'll just call it a club meeting. So because this is associated with some of the technical IEEE club, so club, and it is hosted by department or the student. Okay, it's unofficial, so I'm just going to give it a student. And the purpose of the event is either educational, entertainment, information, or others. Yeah, it's definitely educational. And then department, let's change it a little bit and give electronics instead. So this includes all the departments that are in UCSB. Electronics. Okay. And the maximum number of students allowed, I'll just give it as 30. Sorry, 50. And then location, I'll give it as HFH 1132. Description of the event, come and learn everything you need to know about UCSB. Okay, so what's my name? I'm just going to give my name. And then give my email address so that anyone can contact me. So I've given, I could have either given contact or phone number or email, but I chose to give email because that's more professional. And then what role do I hold? I'm a student. So, and now I'm going to submit the event details. Now the event next addition is over, and then when I have to view the events, like all the events that are like that I've created and anyone's created will be like shown as a list. But if I want to see only the events that I've created, I can go here and see. So these are the four events that I've created, and the basics of Raspberry Pi is the event that I just created now. So this is about how I'll view my application. So in case I want to delete the event, I just go and say delete the event, and it says okay, successfully deleted. And now you no longer have it. It will neither be here nor be in the viewing of the applications. Now let's come to the story part. So let's say that I'm new to UCSB and I want to write about my first thoughts about UCSB. So I'll say first thoughts about UCSB. So what's the story about? Story is about experience. Write a story. UCSB is great. UCSB is beautiful with beaches. I'm just gonna copy it and keep doing it. And then I'm going to submit it. Okay, it was successfully created. Okay. So now this I can see the events created by everyone. But see, we have to notice that at this point you can't see the event that I created. That is my first thoughts about UCSB, because this is where I've done the caching. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is actually present because I think I've changed the timing a little bit, and I've made it quicker so that it appears as soon as I get to it. Yeah. Um, so, and then I'm going to see the stories that I have created. So these are the list of stories that I have created. So this is the one that I just created. So if I want to delete anything, let's just say I want to delete this, delete story. So it is successfully deleted. So now it's no longer in my feed nor in the stories site. So the yeah, so that's it. I'm just going to sign out now. Sign out will take you back to the landing page. Now going back to the presentation. So demo is over. Now I'm going to be talking about the motivation. So the reason that I developed this application was basically from a motivation from Piazza. So when I thought about Piazza was they concentrated mainly on the uh, students as well, and they have been in different universities. So I wanted to make a single point where all the events can be put up. So this way, not only students from the same university come together, but it's also possible that students from different universities can come together. So novelty and contribution. Till now, I don't know an application that will allow this to happen. That is, put in an events and then anyone can view an event. So this acts as a single point entry for everything, not just the events, even for the stories as well. And it's very easy to use. And experience and thoughts. So I really enjoyed working on this application from the beginning, that is from the idea generation to getting it to work to actually building it. Google App Engine is really good and I enjoyed designing as well. But some of the problems that I faced, not problems, but some of the negatives that I faced was every time I had to search about something on Java, the Java didn't have a that good mm, documentation as Python, and then it was very tricky to get the flow in the very beginning. And then yeah, I used Materialize over Bootstrap because Bootstrap gave a lot of errors, jQuery errors. Then so it had too much of data involved in it. So I used Materialize, and it looks clean. The future scope. So the future scope I've listed here is pretty vast. I've done this because I hope that I could improve on this in the future. I really hope I could improve on this future, or I would love it if someone will take on. So some of the future scope is expand on all domains. That is, right now I've concentrated only on the events and stories, but we could expand it even to like finding a partner. Let's say that you want to build an application, and then you say that you don't have any of your classmates around you free, so you just post saying that hey, I have this idea, so I want people to work with me, like let's work together and come up with something, or like find study partner, say that I'm finding this stuff, I might help you, you help me, so you can find that, or even find roommates within the university and sell like all university related stuff. And secondly, make it as a social media platform where people can follow you or they can add you. And then for the stories, you could use natural language processing, integrate this with Facebook or Twitter, and then have universities to actually start using the application, and then enable media sharing as images, videos, study materials, PDFs, anything, and then build a mobile application for the same. Thank you.